Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ango, and in this video, we got some big wrestling news stories. We are going to discuss it in this video. As always, timestamps in the description down below. I want to kick things off with AEW. Obviously, throughout time, especially on this channel, we have talked about all of the rumors and news surrounding AEW launching new shows. And obviously, a lot of people have kind of been wondering, like, what's going on with that? What's the situation? Because certain projects were supposedly happening and then they never did. So now, actually, what ended up happening is Fightful Select had dropped this report that AEW talent and staff were told that this past week, the company is set to produce a documentary show that's going to focus on behind-the-scenes aspects of, a group of wrestlers from the company. Now, obviously, this is really hard to say exactly what it's going to look like, but I imagine AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery are trying to possibly emulate the success of, like, Rhodes to the Top, which was Cody and Brandy Rhodes, and their life as a married couple, and obviously being in AEW and being executives and being all of these different things. Nonetheless, AEW President Tony Khan will serve as the executive producer for the show. And then the plan is actually for them to start filming on November 2nd at the AEW Dynamite event in Baltimore, Maryland. And then it will be about 6 weeks of taping. And then that basically ends December 14th in Garland, Texas. So it's a very interesting thing. I mean, obviously AEW does really good numbers for Warner Bros. Discovery. Obviously, Warner Bros. Discovery is really trying to shift towards more scripted content. So I find this to be a very interesting scenario for their relationship. But I imagine, like, this could be a good thing for AEW and it could be a good thing for Warner Bros. Discovery. I always believe that, reality shows are a good thing, especially documentary/reality type stuff. I think it's always been a good thing for wrestling. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I want to shift our attention to WWE, more specifically Triple H. At the time of this recording, it is October 17th, 2022. And it appears that Triple H is going to be missing WWE Raw due to testing positive for COVID-19. Now, there's a very specific reason as to why I want to talk about this, and it has nothing to do with the virus. It actually has everything to do with WWE Raw and the new regime and how they are going to operate without Triple H in charge. A lot of the praise that people have kind of had for WWE in recent months was simply due to the fact that Triple H was a very different boss than Vince McMahon. It's been said that Triple H is not yelling in headphones. Triple H is very structured. He has a lot of plans. There's a lot of things that he's, like, very particular about. And this is going to be, at least publicly known, as the first event that Triple H will be missing ever since he took over as head of the creative. Now, according to PW Insider, they said that Triple H is said to be feeling okay and well and in good spirits. He will be away from his in-person WWE duties until he's cleared from the current protocol. Triple H has been in contact with WWE producers and writers about the creative going into tonight's Raw. And then obviously we all know that WWE Raw, it looks very, very nice the way that they have it planned. So how they execute will be very interesting. But I think this is, obviously with Triple H, it's an interesting situation because who is second in command? Is it Kevin Dunn? Is it Bruce Pritchard? We know obviously Shawn Michaels is helping out with NXT. Like, in the event that Triple H is missing WWE Raw, what does WWE do in this situation? And I think it's just going to be very interesting to see how things flow. And I think a lot of people, including myself, are going to be looking into seeing whether or not this show feels any different from previous episodes of WWE Raw or SmackDown. And I kind of chuckle a little bit because, obviously we praise Triple H, but, like, it's still the honeymoon phase, in my opinion. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And I also just want to make it very clear that with Triple H testing positive, he could technically do his job remotely. How would that work in this event? I'm not necessarily too sure, but technically it is possible. So that is something to also keep in mind. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff there, guys. Speaking of Triple H, we got to talk about this. You may have heard the news that WWE Day 1 has been canceled, but I want to bring some attention to all of you guys about some possible plans that WWE may have. I've actually been hearing some very specific rumors in recent years. Now, this is something that's been in recent years. Triple H obviously wanting to use classic pay-per-views for NXT, and then as time went on, NXT actually started utilizing the classic pay-per-view names. We saw In Your House, we just saw Heatwave. I mean, we've seen so many different variations of it, and obviously they had been used. Now, what's very, very interesting is there is talk about WWE, more specifically Triple H, not only canceling Day One, but getting rid of some of these gimmick pay-per-views, right? So like Extreme Rules, Hell in a Cell, some of these extreme, like these little gimmick match pay-per-view names, it's pretty much being heavily rumored that Triple H is the one who is looking at bringing back classic pay-per-view names. And basically, like, there's some talk about, replacing these smaller PLEs as like big stadium shows, and more than likely being like the international stadium shows. So for an example, and I know this kind of sounds weird, but like Unforgiven or Armageddon could be like a stadium show in like Australia, or obviously Clash at the Castle being in the UK. And then we know we have Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. So like there's a whole bunch of different options. Some of the names that I've seen people talk about, especially, is like No Way Out, because that was rumored for NXT. So look, I'm all for the idea of WWE and Triple H bringing back classic pay-per-views. I never liked the Hell in a Cell, the Extreme Rules, Hell in a Cell. I keep repeating the same ones. Elimination Chamber, Money in the Bank. I always believed that those gimmick matches should never be the names of the pay-per-views, and that's why Triple H always made sure takeovers had some like really cool stuff, aside from War Games or whatever. But yeah, I mean, this is a very, very interesting direction for WWE, and it kind of goes to show you that you don't always need to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes you just need to drive it, and I think that's where Triple H is going to be successful. I am kind of bothered that Day One is not going to take place on January 1st, but I'm also not too bothered if it means that we're going to get a nice big stadium show, WWE Unforgiven or WWE No Way Out, and we get some like really, really cool matches. So I'm excited about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And then obviously, as always, I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you all for staying patient with me. It's been a very interesting month, but as always, I'll keep the content coming. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you're not in the Discord, go ahead and jump in the Discord, and I will see you guys soon.